Welcome back. This is live trading on 7/1/2025. Just going to get right into it. Again, just narrating as I normally would for myself. But all right. Oh, let's look at that. Oh wait. What is this? Get the fuck out of my face. Sometimes I think trading view just pisses me off. Okay. It's the previous day's low. Look at that. Equal lows down there. That looks pretty interesting to me. Still, the new week's opening gap is below that too. Usually more of trading that on Mondays. The fact that hasn't been filled is very interesting. We have, that's also previous daily high. It's a lot of time-based liquidity. Previous day's high. London low was traded into at 745. I'd be interested in a bullish level for that. Let's take a look here. Got London high. It was really stacked red folder today. We got Powell speaking all like starting all sessions, like, or I shouldn't say all session, but like starting at the beginning of the session. Excuse me, it's like I'm complaining. That's my mouse. I need to I'm like literally working in my kitchen. I live out Airbnbs right now. So I gotta get that shit straight, to be honest with you. You gotta get that shit straight. Okay, this is, it's just like, I swear to God, when I click my mouse, it's just not moving. So it's an 8. Oh, okay, so hold on a second. So that is a 4-hour fair value gap. It's a low within fair value gap. I'm just gonna put this as here. H4 low within, I don't know how, with, I think that's fine. So let's see. I'm just gonna draw out this new week's opening gap. Close to the open. All the time-based key levels. I'm interested. So, we are at the all-time high trading, and consolidation is, since consolidation is likely, but at the same time, we are within ranges. So there's stuff to work with. I would put full risk on if H4, had alignment and all that. So when I look at the H4, we're at this low, and there's no internal range liquidity. So I see this as an external range to internal range liquidity move. Even if we went down into here, I would still see that. No question, I would still see that. It's like looking at time-based liquidity. There's this London low. So let me go back to my system real quick. I always look, if I'm going to trade, okay. So if it was traded into after equity market open direct, if it was traded into before, how did I? Yeah, so for me, I don't see a clear bullish. There is this RDRB, but I don't see that as a very clear barometer for London low. So I'm just gonna wait on that. I don't see anything yet that I would use. I suppose there's an inverted fair value gap, but I'm not gonna. I don't use that directly like that. It has to be like a bullish level. Like if price pushed away with a fair value gap, I'd be interested in the fair value gap. It's gonna take some time to look at because it seems like it's chilling out. Okay. So daily, we took out all that. I still see a potential This is a daily fair value gap as well. So if that were to trade into previous daily low, then I would see it in a really extreme alignment, I would say, between the 4 hour. Like that down here, previous daily low, NWAG, and daily fair value gap, it's almost like too much. It's almost like too many levels. Now we'll see. We'll see what it does. But to me, at the moment, daily is more in a bearish movement down to this fair value gap, likely. Just took out external range liquidity, trading into internal range liquidity, 4 hour. Took out external range liquidity. I think we might push down lower, but like you could look on like I don't know. I have a feeling it's looking very, very consolidatory. We'll see if it might flush in. It might, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and watch. I say we. I'm not, it's nobody but me, but. So, weekly, I'm just going to say is overall more bullish than bearish at this point. It's probably going to create a fair value gap is all I would anticipate from that. Certainly I would anticipate it to create a fair value gap. Okay. So as I'm waiting, one thing I'll show is I was doing some research yesterday on my metrics and just like volume in general. And you know, volume is like probably the most important part of this strategy in the sense of like just conceptualizing volume, like key levels with the most volume, traded at the most active time of day, which means most volume. And I was just looking at my metrics. That's daily performance, and this makes sense Friday. I probably won't trade Fridays without red folder news. I'm just gonna kind of look at that. But overall, like, you know, performance is very, very clear. Like, I have a swift drop off from, like, this period from 9:30 to 10 is significantly higher performance than from any time past 10. And we see in the 15-minute blocks, same thing. And I understand 9:30 to 9:45 and 9:45 to 10. I treat them very separately for reasons due to volume. 9:45 to 10 is, I would say, 99% of the time less volume than 9:30 to 9:45. And so I account for that because this is a liquidity-based strategy. And so like that, this just makes sense to me. And then after 10, I don't see as many clear consistencies. So I'm just going to be trading or potentially taking entries between 9:30 and 10, and that's it. Going to really cut this down. It would increase profit factor, at least over the past 6 weeks, increase profit factor by 1.5x. So I'm interested in that. We're going to see. But today, like, that's just kind of a point of what I'm saying is I'm gonna be done at 10 if there's no entry, just because it's just this time makes sense to me. So we'll see what this does. There is like this fair value gap and a high, but it's London low. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a low. It is not a. You could use an inverted fair value gap. I don't use that. Bullish level. There is a RDRB down there, but I would be much more interested in that if we had swept liquidity or done something before that. So I'm just waiting. I think anything, it might be no trade with Powell, but just gonna wait. Let's see if we move at all. Look at that. Just chopping around like nobody's business. I would have sold that in my previous strategy probably. Just crazy. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. Yeah, like we did invert that fair value gap. We did not invert it with a fair value gap. If you were to look at the reaction to that inverted fair value gap, nothing yet. And I'm just not, what are the levels? I think I just say inefficiencies for this. Yeah, hello inefficiency. Alright, I'm not going to be using an inverted level. She could do, but this is like the mother zone right here. Look at that. It's crazy. Previous Friday's value area as well. I mean, it's just like pretty nuts level of liquidity likely in that area. Such low volume. It's actually unbelievable. Like, it is really low volume. And I'm sure it has to do with Powell. On a day like this, I almost would. Today might be the day that I actually do wait till after 10. Maybe I shouldn't even look that up on here. I mean, I'm not caught. I don't know. It's probably 30 minutes, I'm guessing. Volume is just extremely low. I have a feeling that 10 a.m. might actually, if Powell stops talking, we might see some increase in volume. I mean, that is just like half of the normal volume. Maybe 2/3 of it. Maybe it's picking up at this point. Looks like it's picking up. We'll see. Yeah, it is picking up. I guess we did invert that gap, and what's left is an RDRB. Let's see. Actually, I might give a reaction to that. It would be conservative risk, especially because of the day, but I'll watch that level because we inverted this gap, inverted that gap. So it's an M15 IFVG, and then this is an M15 RDRB. So now look at this. You can get a notion of that, right? Inverted that gap. Coming to here. It has not swept liquidity within the RDRB. We'll see if it holds a fair value gap. A lot of selling going on in there. Let's see if those... I mean, I know they're trapped down in there. Yeah, because I almost sold it. I didn't almost sell. I was thinking about it though, so I know they're trapped right down in there. So if it creates a BPR or whatever, there's so much liquidity right down here. Previous daily low, NWOG daily. I'm like, keep it low risk on that. But see if this holds a fair value gap. I guess it's... okay, I probably won't. I wouldn't actually take that, to be honest. The reason being is because I would already be low risk if we hadn't taken out this level. And then I'm low risk because of the time of day, so it's just like extra low risk. So I'm just wait on this. I can watch it and see what it does, but I'm going to wait on this reaction. If I were, to trade that, what I would want to see is some, continued displacement from that displacement. Wow. Yeah, I think it's, it has everything for an entry right now except for the fact that I just, context-wise, it's not as clear. So I'm going to wait. Just going to wait. Can watch it run, which is fine if it does. Let's do a little bit bigger time frame for now. Yeah, I mean, I see the like opportunity unfolding, but it's like just a few things where it's like I'm like, oh, I'd reduce risk because of this, and I'm like, and then I reduce risk because of this, and it's like, well, I might as well just not even take the trade then if it's going to be such a low risk. Is the way that I view it as. I'd have to create like a third risk in my system, which I suppose I could, but just rather keep it simple. I was looking at probably won't be taking a trade today. I mean, there was a potential entry. It looked like it would have looked like this. Stops maybe here, or actually here, and then targeting out like here. That's probably, but just I had enough things that were saying low risk on that to where it was just too low risk, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait on that. So that would be what the trade would look like as of now. But I would put a low risk on that. Let me see, actually, let me think about that. I was thinking of a fail flip of this. I'm gonna let it see if it'll give just a little bit more. And I take it down to here. It's like right before 10. Probably not gonna take a trade today, to be honest. Maybe if this cocks down or something right beforehand, I don't know. I'd want to see it like close like this original displacement. See it close down in that, and then be confident in a squeeze down into these levels. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Jesus Christ. People are getting like absolutely murdered on that shit. I mean, you inverted a fair value gap for sure. Wow. Whew. That's nuts. Yeah, maybe it moved lower, so I don't know, but I am going to be done for today. Yeah, it just kind of gives me like market maker sell model vibes, but we'll see. It's really all over the place with that news and shit. It's volume high on this. Chinese candle was high volume, yeah. Wow, that was insane. All right, I am going to just close this. Just to remind myself that I'm not. So there's no trade day today. You know that trade would have gotten stopped if I'd taken that long out of there. I mean, it's not like it was wrong trade. It was just too low. It would have had to been too low risk. Overall, just like yeah. I mean, I'm excited to continue just keeping a shorter cadence with this stuff. 30 minutes on. I mean, like an NBA game in terms of playing time is like 40 some minutes. So, this similar level of intensity. So, we got to make sure that, I'm locked in for that. So, yeah, I'm going to get off now.